Yeah, I think that's the point, and I try to tell people, we were on air the other day and I was like, hey, look, these next 4.5 months, just go ahead and buckle up, Andrew. Like, buckle up, brother. Like, it's going to be a ride. On the sports side, I can talk about this, is that, having the NBA playoffs that are about to happen in that condensed time period, starting in July, ending in October, having MLB that's coming into its own if they're able to get through it. Athletes are going to have the biggest stage they've ever had in their entire lives. And you can bet your tail on it that guys are going to be speaking out. Now, having a commander-in-chief that likes to engage in the sports arena, and I've had this issue at ESPN. It was tough. I mean, look, people are going to talk about Jamel Hill and Michael Smith, two people that got let go by ESPN for speaking out their mind against him. And everybody got put in this really weird situation about, we are for sports. We're not for politics. But then you're like, how do you navigate? He keeps injecting himself into these conversations and using things to politicize and weaponize. And this is going to be a fight. People, fans are about to see a fight for the next 4.5 months on a pretty massive stage. It's going to be crazy to watch.
One thing I know you're outspoken about, which I am 100% with you on, is that college athletes need to get compensated for the revenues and the talents they're bringing in. And to me, there's always been a racial component to this, because you have D1 football players and basketball players, often people of color, who are not getting paid. They're getting these scholarships. And then you have these coaches and athletic directors, often commanding 7-figure salaries, often not people of color. And then you have these institutions that are benefiting to the tune of tens of millions of dollars a year, broadcast contracts that are worth hundreds of millions. And to me, there was always like this, it was like an oppression, not just of young people, but also of people of color who are generating the value, risking life and limb, and then being told, it's like, hey, you're getting this great education out of it, so just be grateful, shut up. You can't, like, if you took money from anyone, then we're somehow going to take away your eligibility and your ability to play because you have like poked a hole in this bullshit fiction that like you're all amateurs and like we're all amateurs too. Like your coaches are doing it for the love of the game and the like freaking $4 million a year they get paid. So like, this to me has always been like the biggest sack of bullshit that you could see in like the institutional frameworks where it's like, wait a minute, like how much did Zion just make for his school or like the broadcast networks, and like how much did he get? I mean, like I imagine Zion was okay, but the thing that worries me really is like that person who's not a household name, who's not going to make the league, who's like there like is going to have a hard time in like their post athletic career after school, who should have been compensated for the value they were adding when they were in school.
Man, we've been talking about this forever, and I would hear people combat that same, thought that you had with, well, I'm still paying back my student loans. And I would say, I understand the value of education. And I look, that's a whole other different conversation about education, and we can get into that in a little bit. But I'm like, I understand what the issues are around that and how challenging that might be. But I also understand that, I brought in millions of dollars of revenue, and cable companies is just not hundreds of millions. It's billions. I mean, it's billions. It's $10.5 billion in which the NCAA tournament got sold for. And you see guys like Zion Williamson should be getting a residual check every other week, just for the notoriety that he could bring to the table. And so for me personally, and the tonality of it too, AY, it's like predominantly these kids in both these footballs that generate enough money to subsidize all the other sports, they're African American. So then when you're able to say, okay, the university, when there's an issue, you have the athletic director that speaks out about the issue for the university. When the coach has an issue, either the coach can speak out or the coach's agent can speak out. When the league has an issue, the commissioner of the league can speak out. Well, when a player has an issue, who's speaking out on the player's behalf? Nobody. And oftentimes the player doesn't say anything because the player wants to be able to get the leeway to go to another university for a second try and doesn't want to have that university taint his, resume on who he is as a person. So the fact that you have all these individuals that have no representation in the marketplace, but yet it's called amateurism. And people don't even know where amateurism came from. I mean, it came from the 50s with the first director of the NCAA, Walter Byers. There was a player who was running a slant route for a smaller school, got hit running a slant route, catching the ball, and got hit helmet on helmet, passed away. His wife at the time tried to sue the school for workers' comp. They found a loophole around workers' comp because he was not an employee. He was deemed an amateur. So, when you understand where this terminology came from, and then you see how much it's evolved, and the fact that now we're finally on the, verge of getting name, image, and likeness, and how that's a fight is beyond me. It's a fight.
Yeah, literally. It's like people are like paying for for the video game to be able to play you, like the jerseys, the autographs, and everything else. You can't even have that. Like that to me was the most ridiculous stance. I'm glad that's changing, but but that's not where all the money is, really. I mean, the money is hovering around these broadcast deals.
Well, I mean, what a crazy concept, right? Rev share. I mean, what a crazy concept. I mean, that's what the NBA does. That's what NFL does. That's what MLS does. That's what MLB does. So why is the NCAA any different? I mean, even if you want to put that money, Andrew, in escrow, and even if you were to break it down and say, okay, we're going to put a small percentage of this money for the profit that your own athletic department for basketball generates, we're going to, we still have to subsidize other sports. I know a lot of schools are breaking even, but a lot of schools are not, who are way more profitable and in the public eye a ton. So even if we were to give you up a sliver of that, a smaller percentage, and say, let's keep this in escrow. And if you graduate maintaining a certain GPA by this new curriculum that we're going to establish, that's actually going to be conducive to you being successful once you graduate from here, other than you just taking lame courses because basketball is your priority, or your sport is your priority, because you can't major in what you actually want to major in, even though we're going to call you a student athlete. The reality is you're an athlete student. So, but we can't even come to an agreement on that. Like, it's
that would be tremendous if you had like an escrow account where people were getting some of the revenue down the road, even like you said. Like that would be an amazing for so many athletes, and they deserve it. I mean, it was their freaking talent, energy, and dedication that generated the value that right now the schools are all are benefiting from.
Yeah, so I mean we're on that trajectory. It's going to be even more interesting, because this is already happening on the high school level. With all these different social media platforms, you have kids now who are starting to think about themselves as businesses at a lot earlier of a stage. If you see kids on YouTube who are 10, 11 years old who are making millions of dollars based upon how many views they get and how YouTube is taking that metrics, right? It's the same for high school kids.
Players that are now skipping college, they're just going straight to the G League, and they're like, "Wait a minute, I can make $250,000 plus maybe some sponsorship and endorsement, can build my brand and the rest of it." Like, they don't need to put up with the NCAA's bullshit anymore. Like, it's not working.
I'm with you, man. So it's gonna get even more progressive because there's no other choice. There's no other choice, and